Sweet our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come first of all to you. Thank you, Father. Father, we want to thank you for everyone coming out tonight, Father. We ask you to just be with us as we go through this meeting and make decisions for the best for this city, Father. Father, we want to thank you for the rain. We want to thank you for the sunshine, Father. Father, I ask you to just look in on the sick and shut in all over this world, Father. Lord, there's so many folks that need you in this world right now, Father. Father, I ask you to ask for a special blessing for our children, Father. And as we leave the play, Father, I ask you to give us traveling grace. In God, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, first of all, Tracy, sir, coming. But the junior Alderman program has started back. There's 21 applicants, is that right, Amy?
21.
So they got a committee who wish to remain anonymous is one that's going to pick those, and don't blame them. I don't want to remain anonymous. They got 21 applicants and they got a committee. How many is in the committee?
On the committee, there are 4 or 5 people.
Okay. And they're going to pick the applicants out of that 21.
And then they'll bring them to the meeting when they select them, hopefully by next meeting.
Okay. And Billy and Tracy's not here, but we want to thank them for a lot of hard work they did for this river fest. Unless people do it, they don't know how much work goes into it. Just a lot of tireless days and nights, but we'll thank them when they come in. But first of all, we got a public hearing. Eric, you up first. And stay here till you get through.
All right. The first one is a public hearing for the rezoning for Forest Heights.
Anybody here concerning Forest Heights? Rezoning. If not, go ahead, Eddie.
That was going to rezone it from R2 to A1 cemetery. And she was supposed to come on my text the other day. She might just be running late.
Okay.
She works at Toyota, so she might.
All right. Do we want to wait on her, come back when she comes up, or we want to go ahead and do it?
If there's nobody here to...
All right, I need a motion to approve. Kevin Dale, second by Amy. Any question or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
From R2 to A1.
Publication and the notice of events.
It's over. There is a cemetery. All right, we got a public hearing on 507 Clark Street. Is anyone here concerning 507 Clark Street? If not, you can proceed, Eric.
All right, we've got a property at 507 Clark Street for condemning. There's been no power on this house since 2012. And I sent a condemned letter in 2015, the first one. No response. I'm asking for us to go ahead with the condemnation procedures. If it is not fit for human occupancy.
I got a motion, but
Well, you're set, or we're here to make some determination.
Fine.
You get your notices on here.
Yeah.
Got a motion by Key, second by Kevin Dale, to condemn 507 Clark. Any other questions or discussion?
Could you at least call, the name is Ernest James and SKL Investments and any other parties and interests with respect to 507 Clark Street. Get in there.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we got a public hearing at 902 Sunset. Who owns that?
Earl Marion Jr. There is a guy, he's supposed to be here.
I'm here.
See, here, okay, here he is. He is going to purchase the property. Him and Mr. John Haynes come in today, and I think they're closing on the 15th. Is that correct?
I don't know exactly the date, but he said sometime this month.
Okay. So, and he's gonna repair, it is a repairable structure. Yes.
You and I talked today, you wanted to give them that opportunity. How much time do you request to give them?
I would like to proceed to like December, you know, postpone it till December and see if he can get all his stuff together.
What day is that? So, we need a motion to determine that notice was proper. We have jurisdiction over property and then continue the hearing until that day.
Motion by Will, have a second. Second by Kevin Dale. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right, the next one, or the last one is a public hearing on 903 South Hilldale for condemnation. Who's that? Who owns that?
Kerry Patterson.
Kerry Patterson. Anybody here with that name? Okay, go ahead.
All right. There's been no power on this house since before 2011. Light, gas, and water computer only goes back to 2011, so there's been no power on there. And I've got all the stuff here for it, and I'd like to move forward with it.
So nobody's been living there, I guess, for a long time.
You also got Eve Haddix, that's a descendant, I believe, right?
Right.
Yeah, we were in touch with her one time.
Yeah.
Later. Okay. Kathy Davis too.
Yep. And the Haddix lady did come in and basically said she didn't want to let them do it.
Wendy Patterson, Lane David, SK Investments. You said quite a few notes out there. Yeah.
Okay, that's 903 South Hilldale. Motion by Kevin Dale, have a second. Second by Johnny. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Right.
Okay, go ahead with your general. See
All right.
the
I emailed the monthly reports. At the zoning meeting, we had a request from Tanglefoot Native Plants at 923 Sam P. Barkley for a variance on the siding requirements and parking requirements were granted by the zoning board. Let's see. Do they have to vote on that?
Did they give it to them?
Yeah, yeah.
I'd have to look at it, but most likely, I think the zoning board has power to do
I
that.
think,
I think so. Okay, anything else?
That's it.
All right, thank you. All right.
Wait a minute, Eric.
Here,
You have something about that, you want to do?
Oh, your zoning board?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Was it Will was gonna appoint David Joyner to the zoning board?
All right, so I'm gonna make that motion. Do I have a second? Second by Kevin Davis. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carried.
we took care of Ballard.
Yes,
That was the,
Yeah.
so we don't do anything, all right?
No, we're good to go.
He's already on it. We're gonna double your pay next week too.
Oh, yeah? I'll have to double up on the work.
Till
All
now
right,
they're
Tracy and Billy
Yeah,
Joe,
now they're
y'all here. I mean,
I was called that all weekend, I was really good.
Billy.
but anyway, we wanted to say thank you for all the hard work. We've already said that once.
Y'all missed it, but we thank you.
But
Thank you.
for everything you've done, and it was, I know it's hard work. I've been there. It's-
We learned a lot, to say the least.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
we thought it was, we thought it was success, we had a lot of positive comments. I did mail you my report. I just wanted to talk about just a couple of things. Y'all all are aware of the vandalism that was on that Tanglefoot Bridge. And so we're working with Tom Massey
Yeah.
to get that taken care of. Bob Barber is working on scope for the next phase of the city plan discussion. And on M Partners, we're meeting with Dr. Lee and Johnny Epstein October the 8th, Monday, to evaluate the park system and how we can maybe take it up a notch. It's just a
Brainstorming session, I guess?
brainstorming, evaluation of the facilities and things of that nature. So that's going to go on Monday.
What's that time and date?
3 o'clock Monday.
Where,
3
this
o'clock,
coming Monday?
At the Main Street office. The 17th, we have those 50 volunteers from OMS. Right now, we've got projects at the tennis court and park along the river. And I think I emailed everybody, if y'all got anything that you want to add to it in your wards, just let me know. 2019 Riverfest planning, we've set aside 2 days for anybody that has a hand in it, to give us our evaluation, to give us their ideas on how we can improve it, complaints if they had any, things of that nature. So we gave them 2 days to voice their opinions and complaints. And
That
Tracy,
is what, October
October
22nd and 25th
Right.
at the office from 3:30 to 6. They can come and go, they can email, they can drop off, they can call.
whatever. And then Tracy sent out the first memo today on the Christmas parade. So we've moved on.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
And can I just say one thing too? Before y'all got here, we had 21 applicants for junior alderman, and we have a
Excellent.
committee who's taken that. I just want y'all to know that they've got a committee who's handling that. And
Great.
I didn't include y'all on the committee because I knew y'all had a lot on your plate, but they will communicate with y'all.
And who's overseeing that committee?
From your recommendation, Stephanie Gregg. and
Okay,
she's doing
good,
great.
she's wonderful.
Yes.
She's wonderful.
And Hannah's still involved. She's just on
Well, yeah.
maternity.
You got a baby now. Yeah, take care of other stuff. All right, next is unpersonal appearances, Anna Dawes with Legal Shield.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Got some handouts, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 here, I think. I think everybody's got it. This is what you have to share. Thank y'all for letting me appear again. We were here in April, and we proposed to the board to allow ID shield and legal shield for a voluntary benefit for your city employees. I handed out 101 reasons that your employees could actually use this service. And with each one of them, the majority of them, if they have to take a day, well, I came back to get a decision because we were here in April and we're supposed to come back in May, and I don't think y'all had enough time to deliberate or consider us. But if any one of those reasons are used for one of your employees, they probably have to take a day off from work. And it may be something trivial to some people, but to the person that's going through those things, it could be traumatic. And they can handle that from just picking up their phone and doing it from work and without having to take a day off. And this service, like I said before, is no expense to the city. They pay it for themselves. And to Miss Roberts, we have the simplest enrollment. It's one line. It's we do self-consolidation. So I'm just here tonight to see if we could get a decision on whether we can offer legal protection, identity theft protection, and restoration services to your employees.
We hadn't talked a lot about it since,
Okay.
to be honest, we've been so tied up with other things, but are you wanting to go around to each one of these employees? Or do you just offer them to come in and sign up?
Do you guys have an open enrollment for the city once a year? You do? In May? I would like to come, well, we would like to come maybe in April and go to each department because the service would need to be explained Because if I just say a legal service, they're not gonna know what I'm talking about. Most of them are gonna say no. But if I explain to them that they're gonna be able to get their wheels done, that they're gonna be able to get representation for traffic tickets for the whole family, or uncontested divorces, uncontested name changes and adoption, things of that sort that are big deals to people and very expensive, but with this very inexpensive, then they would understand the benefits better. So that's what we're asking each department. That's what we do in other cities. We just go to a department and we can go during their lunch period, maybe feed them a lunch. We call it lunch and learn, and tell them about their new benefit and go from there.
You may have told us this before, how much does this cost?
Okay.
Per month?
Okay. Now don't put me on the spot.
Well, give me a ballpark.
Is this a bi-weekly pay?
Weekly.
A weekly pay? Okay. Roughly it's about $7 a week for the legal plan. And if they want to add the identity theft plan, it's roughly about $4 more. You're looking at like, well, you probably look about like $12 or $13 a pay period if they want both plans. And this plan covers the whole family, not just them. Covers their children, their spouses. So it's a good benefit. It's really a good benefit. And I'm just asking you to, when you consider it, consider it for the employees, because, something's traumatic to them. If stuff happened in their household, a child have an accident or whatever, somebody's hurt or killed, they gotta come with a lot of money. Not with us.
Is this a pre-tax benefit?
It is not a
Cafeteria plan?
cafeteria. No, it's not. So, are we looking at something that can be decided today, or do we need to give you
Give us a couple of weeks and let us talk
a
about
couple
it.
more weeks?
Yeah,
Thank you so
and
much.
hopefully we'll come up with something.
Okay. I appreciate you all's time.
Okay, thank you.
And I think you got my number. If not, I'm gonna leave a card here
Okay.
on the okay, Miss Kathleen, I'm gonna step out here. Here's the card.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all so much.
All right, thank you.
We'll do the elevator.
Okay, next up is Tori Jones with PJ Barbershop. Go on up and tell them what you want.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I came on before, I just opened up recently, I opened up a new barber and beauty salon here on West Bankhead. Probably, well, down from Montrose.
No, Willis Grocery or Cooper Group? You don't know where?
I've been over there for about 3 years, but I just remodeled and everything. Mayor came, looked at it, it's a real nice stuff. I was on the side that I used to be in, I moved out to that side, and I was talking to Eric about he asked me what I was gonna do with it. So this is Les Paul, he's from Kansas, he's a tattoo artist. And I was wanting to put a tattoo shop there. Well, Eric was telling me something, he came and looked and he said something about an order that was made back in 1993 about it being, I guess, industrial zoning or whatever. He was basically, what I was saying was about putting a sign up, a sign variance to have another sign put on the building. But he was saying something about it was considered industrial, but mine is under commercial. But as talking to Eric, I mean, I didn't understand how that if I just incorporated him into my beauty salon, that because tattooing is like a body art, I could do it, but the main thing was about the sign. So that's what I come in front of y'all today. I don't know if it's more of the zoning or the sign, which I probably need Eric in here more.
Eric,
Which one it is.
come on in.
I think Eric's gonna come off the committee first.
So, he kind of told us what, it's okay for them to do the body art in there, but the sign is the problem. Is that right?
Well, I handed Reagan the stuff kind of late, but a tattoo parlor is only supposed to go in the industrial, and he's in commercial now. You know, I don't know if they,
What we would technically be asking is to change to a commercial, where we can have a tattoo
So
parlor
do
and
they
a
need to go to
commercial
the zoning
parlor.
board?
well,
Oh, depends on how you went about this. They could ask for a change of their zone to industrial, which would stick an industrial right in the middle of commercial, which might not be ideal. The other option would be to change the ordinance, or.
Variance.
Yeah, no, well, I have to look for a general variance statute. I had an ordinance, I haven't really looked for one. It might, probably there's not one in this specific code. It just says it has to be industrial. Of course, that was written in 1993.
1993.
Tattoos are maybe not probably by younger people the way they work back then. So I have no idea what the board wants, but if you want to revisit that, I would change the board.
All right, just explain to me again where this is. I'm sorry, I know y'all.
That specific.
You know where the old Willer's Grocery, Cooper's Grocery?
Headliner, where Headliner used to be.
VIP, close to
Down toward
VIP area.
Got it,
Flint.
okay.
Pittsfield.
Bumpers, you know where Bumpers is?
Yeah, okay, got it.
Across the street.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, if you change that zoning, you're changing industrial right in the middle of commercial, so it'd only be this one little, you can't do that.
I'm guessing, is that accurate? There's no, is there any industrial close by? No? Yeah. That's one solution that would allow it. Of course, changing the ordinance would allow it if you wanted to allow tattoo parlors in C2. But as it presently is, they can't issue a license for it. So, the board doesn't want to act on that today, which may brought to their attention. You may want to give them a month to think about it and then get back in touch with him and let them tell you their.
Would the simplest thing to do would be amend the ordinance, or?
That would be the most permanent, for if the board is amenable to allowing tattoo parlors in C2, I think that would be the cleanest way to do it.
John, is that your ward? So he needs to talk to his citizens, I mean, don't you need to talk to your people and see what they want? I mean,
If it's not desirable to be in all of C2, could y'all amend the ordinance to where it was on a case-by-case basis for y'all to review? To
Do you that
approve one in
question,
C2?
Breaking? He asking again.
If y'all didn't want them in all of C2, which is scattered all over town, could you amend it to allow the Board of Alderman or the zoning board to approve that particular type of business on a case-by-case basis? That way, it wouldn't just be free reign for them.
Yeah, I'd have to look at it, but I'm sure we could find a conditional permitted use so that it would require a permit approved either by the zoning board or the board.
Would it be like the junkyard, salvage yard rating?
Yeah.
They get to be approved in our
Exactly,
ordinance?
they're not principally approved, which doesn't require any approval by the zoning, it's just principally approved use. That's a use that is approved in that zone. Conditional requires one of the boards to approve it. So we could put it in there. Then you'd be able to look at it on a case-by-case basis.
All right, let us talk about it, and
Well, my thing is, all right, so I did live in Kansas till yesterday, because I came down here to do this. And it was kind of, I mean, it's, you know, it's my mistake, because I didn't know this was gonna be an issue, because where I live, it's not an issue. And so, and I've owned 2 tattoo shops prior to this, so like, but I basically just uprooted my whole family to come down here. And so like, I'm just trying to, if it's possible, to kind of put a little rush behind it. Not, I mean, I'm not a word, but to where I don't have to wait a month or 2 to find out if it's even going to be a possibility to do it.
A zoning change will take, what, 60 days, maybe? Is that correct? Ordinance change on the zoning?
We would have to introduce it at a regular meeting, which this one is not continued. That would be next month before you introduce it, and another two weeks after that. So, and it's not supposed to take effect for 30 days.
but I don't know what it takes to do the variance.
But Well, I'm gonna have to
I
find
mean,
that.
if you can find it.
I'm gonna have to find that.
Okay.
So I would think,
Can you find, Tori, can you call her in a couple of weeks and let Ray see what he can look up legally? Cause we just can't give you an answer tonight. We don't have a legal out right now. Yeah, just contact here. Is that all? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Light, gas, and water, Bill. You got a bunch of writing here, I don't know.
We got a bunch of resolutions dealing with our gas expansion project as well as the wastewater system improvement project. I guess the first item is general obligation bonds for the gas expansion. I think we talked the last meeting. We did get our everything through the PSC that we need to get approved. We're in the process of rebidding the project. And again, this is, I think we passed something at the last board meeting regarding the bond. This again, just another step in us being able to issue the general obligation bonds in the amount of not to exceed $3 million.
this is the actual meeting where we will approve issuing the bond, and since we have published, I guess I need to call if there's anybody here who contests the issuance of the bond. No one contests, then I'll vote to approve.
Most of all, we'll have a second. Keith, any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries.
And kind of follow along with that, it's sent you all the email, Commissioner President does have a ribbon cutting for this project next Friday. It's going to be in the Potts Camp area at Bethlehem Church of the Lord Jesus Christ. And that group has kind of led the effort to get this going. And I've got these out for y'all and Lynn and Gary. Y'all look for something to cover on Friday, y'all want to come out. Oh, Friday.
This coming Friday.
Yes, I need a ribbon and a big pair of scissors.
Yeah, I got it. They're on it.
All right. Yeah, Ms. Joanne said she could help me with that. Thank you. Our next item regarding our wastewater system improvement project, again, word is, we got word within the last month that we were approved for the project. We basically, the loan part of the project for USDA is $7,886,000. There's also about a $6 million grant that accompanies that. It's going to let us get the project completed. It's been a long time getting to this point. We still have, there's a lot of work to do before we can actually start breaking ground. But this resolution, I guess it just says it's our intent to issue these bonds. Is that right, Ray?
Yeah, we intend to do it, and then we'll have to publish and then have another meeting a month or later.
And they're called, if you talk to USDA, they say it's a loan, but when you talk to the bond attorneys in Mississippi, they say all municipal debt is a form of bond. So it will be a USDA bond sale. I guess all this is back through USDA. Is that right, Ray?
Yeah, it's about an $8 million bond. And, that's it, I guess.
There are several other steps for us to actually, get the project up and actually, borrow the money, right?
Yeah, this particular project, of course, it's a huge project, but it would be a lengthy process with multiple steps. The way USDA works is they don't actually fund the bonds for the very end, so construction's all the way done before they put the bond for sale. Most of the bonds we've done, at least since you two have been here, we've never put one out for sale. It's a different process. So we have to get interim financing along the way, but the very first step is the same as it is on all the other bonds. That put notice out that we intend to offer the bond.
Okay. But this does not tell you to go sell the bonds.
No.
This is just kind of the first step in the ball roll.
We need a vote on that.
Yeah, we have to prove that.
I got a motion by Johnny, have a second. Second by Kevin Dale. Any other question or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
The next item again is related to this, to the wastewater system improvements. Is accepting the terms and conditions of their, what they call their letter of conditions, is that right? Terms and conditions from USDA. They sent us a list of all these, I guess, points we have to agree to and conditions that have to be met. Reagan has gone through these fairly close. I looked at it as well, and personally don't see anything that gives me any heartache. It's just kind of standard USDA language that you get into with these projects. Reagan, you have something to...
Yeah, it's 30-something pages long. I didn't see anything in there that was concerning other than things I pointed out to you just to make sure numbers matched.
Yeah.
But, and the bond attorney also looked at it, he said it was pretty standard boilerplate USDA perspective. I don't go in there.
All right, we need a motion to accept their terms and conditions, USDA. Motion Key, second by Amy. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
And the last item we need to get approved is to, I guess, actually hire professional for the issuance of proposed revenue bond, actually the bond attorneys. And we typically used Jones Walker, or Walker Jones, is the name?
Jones Walker.
Jones Walker.
We've used on all the other ones.
And that's who we proposed to use on this one as well.
And the reason we have to do that is the letter of commitment from USDA says you have to have a resolution choosing them, so that's complying with that letter of commitment.
Got a motion by Johnny to have a second.
Question.
Yes,
How much money will the bond thing get?
One of the things that the letter of commitment says is that it has to disclose hourly rate and max fee. The bond attorney actually refers to the certified bond attorney. You have to have certified bond sign off on it. That one is set with a max, and I can't quote you the figure, but it's in the 27 range plus some expenses. There's no such figure that relates to the local council. And I have to disclose that, but I haven't disclosed it yet because I'm not sure. And I'll have to disclose it in due time.
Those fees are set by rules of law.
I have a motion by Johnny, have a second. Second by Kevin Dale. Any other question or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Like I said, we will try to have some briefings on this kind of, I know we've talked about it because we've been working with Spike for 5 years, and we talked about, along the way, now the picture's more clear to us. We'll try to get it y'all and kind of lay out what's going to happen and what all have to happen, for us to get it up and going.
All right, thank you. Eric, did you have something else? Is he out there?
Yeah.
Did you have something else?
No.
Okay. All right, police department. Chris, you got anything?
No, Mayor, I don't have anything tonight.
All right, thank you, sir. Fire department.
No, sir.
All right. Let's move to general city business then. Item A is,
Different.
that big pump is, that's one that went in the pond.
The other one's in that little five.
Right, okay.
The
So
other
it's
one's in the big
the
pond.
big pond, but
But
we,
most of these figures is material because there's a Boy Scout project, Eagle project.
okay. So we're gonna try the fountain one more time.
So, yeah, they've already, most of it was trying to get that fountain sealed back up, because it started leaking.
Okay.
And I think they think they've done it.
But while we're talking about this, the big pond, do we use that still? or-
Well, we don't, because it needs work, about $5,000.
That's what I thought, okay.
How much was the monthly utility bill on that too?
The first one we got was running 24/7, it's $2,000. But we cut it down to put a timer on it, so it's cut it down to $700 or $800 a month.
Still, okay, thanks.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, item B is to approve August 28, 2018 minutes. Motion by Amy to have a second. Second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. C is to approve September 2004, 2018 minutes. Motion by Key, second by Kevin Dale. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, item D is approve municipal compliance questionnaire for the year ending of 2018. This is just some,
I think I emailed that to y'all. That's just a technicality we have to do for our audit.
motion by Key, second by Johnny. Any other question or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item E is to approve budget amendments for fiscal year 2018.
And I just figured those this afternoon, and I think they're from your information. There's not a lot of amendments this year. And I tried to explain what the amendments were on a separate sheet. What did those be on? This has to be done before we can close in there too, these amendments.
You got enough time? That's everything.
Does it close 9:30? When's that, when's?
All right, go over with it. Well, we amended.
Well, the first one is judicial, which is, the bulk of that is overtime for the two clerks, and that's why they asked for a part-time person for this next year. And then the next two things, they did not spend all their funds, so that's just an adjustment, taking that out of their budget for supplies and I'm trying to think what this other service, oh, that, for some reason they didn't have to hire a lot of legal counsel this year, like an attorney to represent someone. That's why that went down this year.
So they giving money back. All right. Public property, is that?
Police is just the housing prisoners.
Yeah.
We had to adjust that. And fire, vehicle repair.
That's been unusual. Better than buying a new one though.
Then your park and rec, we repaired restrooms and community centers this year. And then the capital outlay public property, that was that, when we repaired the sirens that we weren't expecting, that's what that's for.
That's for $7,000.
Then on your tourism, we just didn't collect as much tourism tax this year as we projected. It's on the second page.
Okay.
And then the city beautification and tourism, they just went up a little bit on what they requested last year for the planning of several days. And then the rubbish fees, actually, we took in more garbage collection fees under solid waste, 11,000 more. And that's actually collected at like gas and water. And they sent us that payment each month.
How much did the tourism revenue, was it less than you expected?
We amended it $79,946.
We budgeted $846,000 and we got $766,000.
What was 2017's receipts on that same item?
You sent it to, sent that to
Probably
us.
around 800,000, close to it.
I think it was 8 something.
Yeah.
Why would it have been off?
Why would it been off? You just didn't have a,
What?
we just didn't collect as much tourism tax. I don't know why.
That's food and hotels, right?
Yeah.
What part of that year was Cracker Barrel open? About half the year, I think.
It's got up more than a year, hasn't it?
I guess so. That's-
Right out of year, right when we came into office, I think.
And their months, you know, you get it 2 months after they actually pay it.
And I don't know, I don't know that this has anything to do with it, because but it's down in lots of areas too. Tourism and sales tax is down in lots of, I mean, I know sales tax is down in Oxford because of internet, but that doesn't affect this, but I know it's down around.
No, I would think it would affect us.
Well, food and hotels, I don't
No,
know.
I'm talking about sales tax.
Oh, no, it'll affect that, but I'm talking about food and hotels. But it could affect travel, everybody wants to stay home and order stuff.
Last year.
Because we were only down like 1.85% tourism.
Yeah, that was mainly what I was asking, what it was down from the year before, not necessarily what the projection was.
0.8, huh?
0.25%.
She said it was
Less than 20%.
Less. It was just considerably less than projection.
But see, we also had so not all of that is tourism tax. About $9,000 is put in, Sean told me to put in $9,000 for vendors. We can collect on that.
In 2017 on the calendar year, it's different from what we're looking at here. $860,000 for 2017, but that's not on the.
And on these numbers that you sent us, what Don sent us, whatever it is, the 0.85% is what we're down from 2017?
Yeah, 0.85 the last.
Yeah. But up 3.23 in sales.
Yeah. Okay, solid waste, we'll move on. Solid waste, we brought in more than we budgeted, which is good. About city beautification, I don't have to print city around, but it didn't ask for all of it.
That's definitely
So I have a question about this. So when we approve the dockets and the receipts each week, that's where this, it's happening throughout. So we don't really, unless we're calculating each category, me personally is not gonna know how much we're going over or under unless I'm keeping up with every.
That revenue and expenditure report will show you that.
It shows me that on the totals. But I go through the files individually, each receipt, but I look at that too.
I don't think you'd ever catch it.
Catch it in that
Yeah.
way. So I need to, okay. I'll try to look at those because that's kind of how Jeff taught me to do it. But I do like looking at them because in case I miss them.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's well, the amendments are less this year than they have been.
Okay. Thanks, Frankie.
Okay, I guess I need a motion to amend the budget as stated. A motion by Will, I have a second. Second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Let's put Railroad Bridge repair, Snyder Street. Haven't heard anything on that. Star Avenue Highway 30 traffic light project. Don't know any more than we got a rough drawing from MDOT back a month or two ago, so know what it's gonna look like. Yeah. If they ever get the money.
That was so you wouldn't ask them about it for the next 6 or 7 months.
Huh?
Drawing was so you wouldn't ask about it for the next 6 or 7 months.
Probably, yeah.
Park Plaza tree discussion, is that something you left on there?
I asked Frank to put it back on there, because I promised y'all in August I would bring it up in September, but, I don't know that I counted correctly, I really don't, but, it appears that, and, Davey and our numbers may be off. My wife and I counted them the other day, I counted 56 that don't have any leaves on them. So my assumption is some of those are dead or dying. And what I would propose is all of them that are on the inside of Park Plaza Drive, closer to the business, need to be moved, in my opinion, because they block traffic view when you're trying to get out in the traffic in that curve. It's a blind curve. And, my motion would be to move all the ones on the inside of Park Plaza Drive closest to the businesses. And I think the rest of them are gonna die anyway. 56 of them are dead now. I don't know how many's out there, 150 or.
But I think, I asked Sam about that. He said just because they dropped the leaves don't mean they're dead. He said it's just defense, especially the first year they're planted, it's a defense mechanism. If they start needing water, they'll drop their leaves. But he don't think there's over less than 10 that's dead. So I don't know. I don't know about really, but I saw them as drop.
I'm just ready to quit talking
But
about
he said it happened all the time.
But I do think that the ones on the business side of Park Plaza are gonna be problems for us. Just trying to get in and out of El Agave with just the bushes they've got there, you can't see, and people are on you because they drive pretty fast on that road. But,
So if we take those up, what are we gonna do with them?
well, we can give some to the county to put on the courthouse lawn, we can give some to the soccer and tennis complex, we can give some to the park and recreation department, and
You can see if the middle school wants a couple for their practice field, because they lost a couple in that storm too. I don't know if they want to replace them though, but if you're looking for a place, they may want them.
But is this the time to move trees?
I was here January, February,
February, yeah.
when they go dormers. What I've always heard.
I'd just like to vote on it and decide, are we gonna move them or not move them, and if we are, then we can wait till January, February, and, and I won't bring it up again after tonight, one way or the other.
My only thing is that, yeah, Mama and I counted, she knows way more about stuff than I do, and she told me 29, and then we went back and counted, we thought 31 were dead. And my mom really knows her stuff way more than I do. She said 31, I think they're 31, but Johnny counted 50. Maybe I counted fast, so I don't know. But my thing about moving trees, I don't know enough about trees. I don't know enough about landscaping. I don't feel like I know enough to make this kind of decision because that's not my expertise. So I feel like I don't know if when Bob Barber comes in and does this scope, is that something that can go in the scope? I don't know. I don't know enough to make a landscaping decision like that. I don't feel like I know enough. I do think there's some dead trees. I do think, this was my statement when we drove. I'm like, God's taking care of the ones that don't need to be there and the other ones will figure it out. I mean, I don't know. That was kind of my, but I don't know. I just don't feel like I know enough. So I feel like I want some more information. I hate to keep talking about it too, Johnny, I'm with you, but I don't know enough about landscaping.
I'd like to make a point that if there are trees dying in that large of a number, if you take the trees that are dying out and leave the rest of them, it's going to kind of look like a hodgepodge of trees thrown in there. The spacing isn't going to be even from one side of the road to the other, or even on the same side. And if they were going to be left, I would think from a long-term standpoint, you would want some uniformity if you were going to leave some of the trees there. So with the amount of them dying and wanting to take them out on one side of the road and leave them on the other, yeah, I could just see where if you didn't take them all out and half on the side that you were going to leave are dead already, 10 years down the road, we've got a random little hodgepodge of trees. Some of them are on equal spaces and some of them aren't. I don't know how much particular trees are. I don't know if part of the hang up some of you may have is the cost of them, but I'd be willing to buy 20 to 25 of them if that would help at all, because I have a location that I could put them.
I know Sam's the expert on the trees that were planted, but do we not have like the Mississippi State Extension Office who has like a tree professional who's unbiased that could come in and look at it and say, this really wasn't done right, or you probably need to consider, because I don't know, I'm just thinking pro tip, hire a pro. And to get someone that's not, invested in any way, none of our alder people, none of our landscape architects or artists in the area, just, because I know the Mississippi State, they'll come out to your house and tell you what you should do with trees or drainage or landscaping and stuff. I believe at no charge. That's what I've been told before.
Done?
Did we have?
Yeah, there was a guy from Mississippi State came up here 2 weeks ago, I think, and looked at it.
You know, and I just went to a meeting yesterday, and it was all about trees downtown, on curbs, so.
But now, he didn't see any, he's the one I asked too. I said, look, a lot of these trees are dropping leaves, and he said, that doesn't mean anything. You know, by next year, even the ones he said, now, if there's leaves, brown leaves out there on them now, they're probably dead. But the ones just dropping leaves doesn't mean a thing. He said, it's just, when they're that young, it's a defense mechanism on their part, just to drop the leaves. My question to him was, are they planted far enough off the road? And he said, yes, they're plenty far off the road. Because, you know, I said, we've heard everything, roots are going to grow on them. He said, roots are not going to compacted soil. They're going, he said, if they get far enough toward the road and that soil's compacted, they'll turn. He said, but they're not going to grow in compacted soil. But he thought that was good. And I'll get his name. He's with Extension Service, but he's a professor at MSU.
I find it hard to believe those roots wouldn't go towards the road, though. West Oxford Loop's a prime example. There's about 10 pine trees.
Now, pine is different. Yeah, they will grow. They're crazy.
I've got probably 50, 60-year-old pin oak trees under my driveway, and it's bucked my driveway up, so they will mess concrete in.
How far off of it is it?
That's concrete though.
Farther,
It's 2 inches deep.
concrete's harder than asphalt, so, I don't know exactly, probably 10 foot.
50 or 60 years, we'll all be dead.
Mr. Mayor,
Somebody else's problem.
as far as trees are concerned, I don't know of an argument I could make against trees broadly. But if I understand Alderman Anderson's motion, if it is a motion on the floor, I'm not sure if it is or not. The issue he raises is the traffic safety of the trees on what is generally the west side of the road. And it has nothing to do with the viability of the trees. It's a safety issue. Is that a fair statement, John?
Yeah, that's really my biggest concern, to be honest with you, because, I mean, it blinds you. I've had people contact me about it, and I think it's gonna get worse the bigger the trees get, you know, the bigger the trunk gets. Because it's in a curve and the traffic's going fast. I mean, my motion is to move all the ones on my motion is to move all the trees on the business side or west or south side of the Park Plaza Drive. At first I said move them all, but that's my motion.
Power lines on the other side,
Yeah, well, we talked to Bill. We out there before they plant them, and there's a couple that are planted under some service lines that need to be moved, but overall, they're good over there.
There's some lines that are connecting the street lights. You know, I don't think the main three-phase line seems to be far enough away in most locations. I said there's a couple of places where it crosses over, and it might be a problem. Like the street light conductor, that could be put underground if we need to. That would be real expensive to do. We really could. The three-phase would be pretty costly. Just if we had to do something years down the road, if you got the street light conductor. Yeah, I don't know what to do about street lights. The trees, they block the street lights at that point. But you could. It would not be hard to put that line underground if we had to. Again, there are some spots where it doesn't appear.
I did know Bob Barber, you mentioned him, you know, all these pictures he had the other day on the museum. Every one of them had trees on it.
I mean, it's what everybody's doing that day. We had 75 people there, from municipalities to Main Street to whatever, Keep America Beautiful, and they were all.
Well, that's my only thing is I wish we could wait till we know what the scope is, because that might include moving them or keeping them.
Or how dangerous is it? I mean, you know?
Well, my question, Johnny, is your motion to remove them on that side of the road just because, just to make it simple, let's just get them out of the way? Or could we look at the ones that are really, truly, because I agree with
Blocking view. I didn't tell you that,
yeah. There's one.
What about the bushes? That Allegaway, we can get that, but that's worse right now than anything.
But that's my thing, because Mr. Young's got a good point. If we take them all, we just start having random trees, it's gonna look bad. I think based on what I've seen, that trees are a thing of the future for, you know, obviously downtown and roads and stuff. But my thing is, do we just take all of them up, or do we just take the ones that truly are a hazard from a traffic standpoint? And have somebody look at that and say, all right, yeah, that is truly a problem.
And some of those businesses actually have their own pin oaks in their building, around their building.
I mean, there are people that are experts in traffic, I mean, could tell us if that's, you know, I don't know that it's hazardous or not. I mean, I know that's some people's opinion, but we can't just go by opinion. If we keep doing that, we're never gonna make decisions.
And I will say that some of those bushes they do cause a blind spot.
Oh, yeah, I drove out there yesterday, actually, just to look at them again.
So do we just move that? I mean,
That's
I'm
nothing we
abstaining.
planned.
I'm abstaining.
It is a bad spot.
Last point I'd like to make, I think y'all know mainly how I feel about all this, but if you do remove them from the business side, I would encourage that on the east side of the road, that some of the ones you pull up, I'm not against trees at all. I love trees. I just think that the placement is bad. If you're going to pull them all up on that west side, I think you should extend the trees on the east side all the way to the intersection. To give it uniformity. It just kind of seems like the trees started and stopped past certain pieces of property, and it was more an inconvenience for other property owners than everyone down that street.
That's just because they ran out of trees there, so they just stopped.
I would assume that spacing could have been bigger that would allow them to go all the way. I mean, it kind of bypasses a piece of property and picks up on another piece and only affects one person from a private land standpoint. They kind of start at the little sportsplex corner and bypass the corner that's on the east side. That leaves the only landowner outside of the city being affected as one group instead of, you know, it being evenly an issue for all property owners. It seems like it's only affecting one. I do agree it's a safety issue, but if you're going to take them up on that side, I think, and leave them on the other, I think they should be equally spaced so that they don't look like a hodgepodge of trees planted at random. And I think they should go down the whole east side, which would allow you to get rid of more of the trees without having to hunt somewhere to put them.
Johnny, I'll second your motion with one amendment. I agree with Terry, it needs to be uniform if you move them all on one side, maybe extend it down. Well, I still think they're too close together. And we don't know how many dead, we have a good number of them dead. When we figured that number out, that they'd be spaced every other tree, take every other tree out, so move them apart, extend it all the way to Bratton on the one side, and I have them so close together, leave them on that one side, extend it all the way. Which I don't know, they may all live, but that doesn't look like it to me. I think there's a lot of them down here. So in the future, when we get that number, how many, because there's going to be some staggered that are dead, that we just, every other tree, leave every other tree and extend it all the way to Bratton, and then remove every one on the side of the business.
So they planted 40 feet apart, now you're saying make them 8 feet apart?
Yeah, if they're 40, yeah.
That's what they're supposed to, I ain't never been.
The one thing y'all might want to consider from a safety standpoint in talking about moving the ones that are just a problem right now is that on the west side of that road, there's going to be a lot of future development, and what may not be a problem now because a lack of development may turn into a problem down the road. And if right now the trees are 2-inch caliber trees, if down the road they're 8 or 10-inch caliber trees, and there's one right in the middle of where a driveway needs to come on the Park Plaza, I mean, that tree's going to have to be moved, and you're going to not only run into issues of it being a safety hazard in different areas than it is currently, but that could potentially be in the way of access to pieces of property. So I don't think looking at the safety issues in the current is gonna fix the problem in the future, it's just gonna come up again. In my opinion.
All right, we got a motion to remove the ones on the east, I guess that's what I'm saying.
It's the west side.
West side, or northwest, whichever, part of it is south.
It runs directly north.
Southwest.
Park Plaza does, until it gets to the curve, it runs directly north.
No. Right.
South.
You're coming from the intersection, the left side, the business side is the west side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna make a motion to, or what we, I've got a motion to take all those up, take out every other one, I believe.
On the
Move them on down.
and extend it all the way,
Right,
the
right.
same distance, equally all the way, right. After we figure out how many are dead.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we got a motion, and we'll second. Is there any other question or discussion? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, let's move down to 3. No, out of my, I put that on that trailhead water issue. Right out here at the trailhead, Dr. Gadlock come through. I believe it was first of this week, Monday, I think. And he's had this problem last year. He's got a lot of water, more water in the basin than he had before we did the trail. And so I got Paul Smithy up here to look. And what he thinks happening, you know, that was all paved before when it was the railroad. They just went out there and solid paved it for building the building. So that created water problems on both sides because it was running through the vents. And when we redid the trail, we cut it down 3 feet. But the problem now is it's got brick pavers and the water's running through the brick and it's kicking over there toward, now the other building hadn't had any more water problems. It's kicking toward Dr. Gadlock. So Paul thinks the answer is to put a French drain in it. And he put it down, he said probably 2.5 feet right there by the sidewalk on Dr. Gadlock's side. And catch that water and run it back to those, there's some inlets in there. And he can run it back into those inlets. He thinks will fix it. And if not, we'll come back and put a graded French drain on top of that, which will just catch the runoff water. But he thinks the water going through the brick and underground, and that's where it's going through Dr. Gadlock's basement. And, you know, Dr. Gadlock said this is old brick, and I'd hate for this building to collapse by washing all that old water out. And I went down there, and it is water coming out of it. It was probably, that was the day after it rained so hard, but it was probably still 3 or 4 inches deep.
Is that the same issue with the post office, old post office? Because this water's sitting in that basement too right now.
I don't know. It could be. So I asked Paul, so how much money are we talking about? He said, I wouldn't know. I said, well, it'd be less than 5,000. He said, oh, yeah. So I think we need to fix it before we create a bigger problem. You know, maybe spend up to 4,500 or something. Somebody's going to have to come and take the brick out. That shouldn't be a problem. And put them back in after he gets the French drain in.
The brick pavers?
Yeah, back that far enough from the big area. And they're not
Why don't we just get 2 quotes?
mortared in. We can.
Should we get 2 quotes to make sure that we're, yeah. Is that okay?
So you need a motion?
Yeah, to get 2 quotes and to take the lowest quote. Because we need to get it done before winter sets. So I've got a motion by Keith, I'll second. Second, Mamie. Any other question or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And he wasn't necessarily bidding for the job or nothing, he just said
He just got told
it should
you.
be done a lot less than $5,000.
Okay.
Because he's got about all he can do with Okay, item J is to approve bid openings for the Albany Union County Airport Terminal Building. That one, you got that letter in front. The lowest bid came in, they're building a new terminal building at the airport. The low bid came in, let me find this figure here. We're paying 5%, the county pays for that. Okay, the lowest bid came in at $556,925. We had $540,000 with grant money and our 5% and the county's 5%. So they called the contractor, it was Steelcon, as the lowest bid, and asked him if he'd reduce his cost by $16,000, so we didn't have a $540, he agreed to. So we just need a motion to spend the grant money and our 5%, which I think we've already agreed on. We paid, with grant money, state and federal, FAA and state money, that pays 90% of the project. And part of the grant matching funds is we pay 5 or 2.5%? 2.5%. It's 5% total match. We pay 2.5%, the county pays 2.5%. So $540,000.
So moved.
Got a motion by Ann, have a second? Second by Will. Any other question or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Municipal court clerk, Tina Wood training certificate. Just got to agree to it. And a motion. Got a motion by Johnny, but I have a second. Second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Did we skip over K?
Oh, I marked through that. That is Welcome Center Agreement, additional funding. It was 500. We got 125,000. And the reason, well, I know you said the estimate, why so much more. That wasn't really an estimate, that's just all the money we had. We were hoping, or Brett and them, see here?
Yep.
We was hoping it was gonna come in something about 150, wasn't it?
Well, we knew it was gonna be over, but we just didn't know how much.
But the lowest bid was 217 or 18.
218.
And that was a lot less than the one next to it, wasn't it? According to that guy from Roberts Building, he was in here yesterday, and I said, you need to come off that bid about 100. And he said, heck, we was 100,000 cheaper than the next guy. So, to make a long story short, we called ARC, Mike Armour, and said, can you get us some more money? And he did agree to give us another 40,000. So that leaves 70,000. And I think Lynn's the one that made the statement to me. It made a lot of sense. We spent a lot of money on that tennis and soccer, $1 million, I guess, or close to it. And there'll be a lot more people go through this Welcome Center than they do through tennis and soccer in a year. More out of town people. And I agree, that's probably true. So
they're giving another 40 to make it 165 that you have available?
Yeah, we'll have 165 available. So we need the $70,000 to finish the project.
That's more than enough to get it done. For $217,000, I could keep $20,000 in my pocket and build one of the houses in my subdivision. The last one that I just closed, the last one right on that first street, I had $203,000, including the landscape, driveway, interest. Didn't include my lot, but for $203,000, I built a 2,200 square foot, 4-bed, 2.5 bath, with marble quartz countertops and tile showers. It could definitely be done for 165, very easily.
But you can't bid on it, because it's ARC project's federal, so you gotta have it,
It's gotta be bonded and.
Yeah, that's where it's gotta be somebody that's bonded through ARC, or approved through ARC. And we didn't have a 2 bid, and that was the lowest bid.
And time, is that not another?
Yeah, time's the other thing, we need the truck come in, 218.
I need an issue on that one.
It's a big issue, because if we don't get started on it, we're supposed to be hung out next year. Probably will.
I could do it for mine.
And, you know, ARC's deadline is April. They've extended this thing 2 or 3 times, and they basically said April our cutoff of 19.
Right.
So if we don't have it at least well started, then they're gonna pull their money.
The reason the budget is slow is this project started out as an access drive to the little pavilion.
Right.
So that's why the number is as low as it is.
And we just, y'all wasn't here then, but we just decided not to do a drive down to that pavilion.
No, we were here on that note.
Or where you try to get that money moved to the Welcome Center. So that's the,
So where is our estimates, what was we knew what we had for access drive.
yeah. Well, we had the same amount to go in that Welcome Center. I don't think it was ever estimate done, was it, as far as,
Do I know?
he's saying the estimate was low, but that's just the money, it wasn't really.
That's just the money we had to work with.
Yeah.
And to get the look of the Welcome Center, that brick veneer,
Yeah.
look that they were wanting. 4 bathrooms and an office. Plus, we got a good bit of drainage to do around it, and parking. We gotta open up the parking for the school administration building. Take out some concrete, do some asphalt.
It's not just the building.
Yeah, it's not
There's a lot that goes with drainage and most of it.
So do we have that money available? You said we.
Well, we think, I mean, at the worst case scenario, we got CDs over there, we pull 70 out of them. Frank and I looked at a account we got the other day, I've got requests in, I don't know, hadn't got an answer. But MDA over the years, for the last 35 or 40 years, if a business can't, or especially an industry came into town, they would give them money if they had 10 or more employees. We're gonna start 10 or more new jobs. And Benchcraft, when they were here in New Albany, MDA sent them money. And there's about 60,000 with 60, 59 or 60. In an account that's been sitting there about 35 years, that when Ann Neal was here, I asked, we decided we'd call the state and said, will you take this money back? And they said, no. So what are we supposed to do with it? Well, you just got to keep it. That was, I've been here 14 years, that's probably 13 years ago. But nobody was here with MDA that was here 35 years ago when they gave them money. So we're going to see if we can use that on this. If not, we got to come to an option. But, you know, like I said, the last scenario was pulling 70,000 out of the CD.
When is the deadline for ARC to withdraw?
April of 19.
Is the city able to bond and do work for itself?
Not with an ARC project. We can. We have an attorney general's opinion saying we can be our own contractor. But since it's federal money, we can't.
Do you know what the requirements to get approved by ARC?
You be a licensed contractor, state of Mississippi, and then you have to be approved by them.
Again, we're going back to what he said about the building, but it's not a fair comparison.
Yes, drainage, it's a lot of drainage.
And we've got a time issue here. So my question is, what are we asking about tonight? Are we?
What ARC, basically, they got a letter they got to sign, MOU, saying basically we're committed to building the building. They'll give us 140 if we're committed to do the other 70.
So we gotta find the other 70.
Yeah.
All right, I make a motion to go forward.
All right, I got a motion by Amy to move forward. Have a second. Second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carried. All right. Let's see. Where are we now? Approved request for cash number 4 for Coulter Drive project. You know, we've done this before. We're requesting the payment number 4 from the state. And that payment, that invoice of $26,499.
Can we do number 3 and number 4 together, M and N together?
4 and 5? Yeah, I guess we can.
It says number 3. No,
Yeah.
N says number 3, but does that mean number 5?
Well, what that's done, M, is we've got the 54,000 that we requested sometime before. Now we requested permission to pay them.
Oh, okay.
M is to request permission
Oh,
to get
gotcha. I got it. I'm sorry.
invoice
Okay.
forward. So we can do it separate.
Okay.
M.
So moved on request for cash on number 4.
All right, got a motion by Amy, have a second. Second by Kevin Dale. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, now item N is to approve a pay request number 3 for the Copeland Drive project of $54,000 to Michael Pittman Construction.
So moved.
Got a motion by Will, have a second.
Second.
All right, second by Amy, any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, approve pay request number 1 for sewer project for ESI, Engineering Solutions, for $171,000. And that's on this, our new plan, what Bill was talking about earlier.
So moved.
Got a motion by Keith, second by Kevin Dale. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, do I need to step out on this one, right? Yes or no? It's already on there.
No, it's
Okay.
not for SNA, it's for another company.
Okay.
On SNA.
All right, it's the S&A project, but it's approval of payment request number 7 for SB Construction of $31,000. Motion by Johnny, do I have a second? Second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, motion carries. And item Q, huh?
We didn't vote.
Oh. All in favor? All right, motion carries. Any opposed? Okay. Item Q is to approve change order number 6 for S&A project. Got a motion by Johnny, to have a second? Second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, that's all we got on the agenda. Anybody got anything else? No. All right. Nobody has anything else, and then most adjourned. Kevin Dale, second adjourned.